6 seconds. Mo, get ready. I know you're never ready because you're an old man.
What's with all of the cracks?
Welcome back to another episode of Ways. My name is Mohammed, here with the co-host Osama. Osama, how are you doing today?
Bro, I'm blessed. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm hungry, but I'm always ready to go. And today's topic is really amazing, even though we spoke about it before. But today we have a special guest,
Do
right?
we?
I don't know. Do we, Mohammed? How about you introduce her? Because to us, she's a special guest for us, and we want people to know why she's a special guest to us.
No problem. Before I introduce a special guest, make sure to listen to us at Ways 2.0 on Instagram. You can listen to Osama on his Instagram page at Costa300. You can follow myself at Mohammed.global. New episodes every Wednesday. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, and other various platforms. Thank you so much for the love, support, and make sure to listen for new episodes. Today's special guest, it's pretty funny. We've known her pretty much our whole lives at this point, and
Yes,
she's pretty
sir.
much she's pretty much a big sister to us.
A big sister to
You could
us.
say
Yeah.
she like raised us and saw the progression from us as young kids to young, I guess, adults trying to figure out in life. And without ado, I guess the person that's with us today is Chantelle, the one and only. She's not just a normal person, anyone. She's like a person of many characters and many interests, and we definitely want to get into that. So, Chantelle, please welcome to. So nice to have you.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. And as you said, it's like I remember you guys being annoying little guys in grade 5 and now like look at you, You're growing up, you're doing this amazing podcast, and so I'm
Yeah.
really grateful to be a part of it.
And we're honored to have you. Like I feel like, as Mohammed said, like you're a big sister. So I think this episode is gonna be really special for us. Even the
Aw.
topic, so we might even relate it back to when we were kids and like me and Mohammed, us troublemakers. So we might expose some fun stories, guys, if you pay attention.
You know what? That was honestly so, like, I'm trying to think back. That was when you guys were in grade 5. I would have been in grade 8. That was like, gosh, that was a long time ago. But it does really relate so much to what I wanted to talk about today with you guys about living with your purpose. So it really does line up perfectly. If you have embarrassing stories that you want to
I,
reveal, that's all you guys.
I have lots, so I don't mind. By all means, this is an
I
open discussion.
I just know that you guys only showed up for the snacks, and the math was like not so great. But hey, it worked out pretty well for you guys.
Which is pretty funny. Yeah, so we've known you legit over close to 20 years at this point. And one thing I want to ask you is, even since a young age, when we first saw you, you were just an individual who never really conformed to society standards. You always like knew what you want and you tried different things. What gave you that mindset and that freedom and just trying to be yourself and try different things and not be so confined to what people think you should be as a younger person?
You know what? That's honestly such an interesting question. I have no idea. I have no idea why, when I was younger, I needed to try new things. And still to this day, I still really have to just give everything a go. If I find certain interests, I'm not afraid to give it a go. It's not going to be my forever career, but it's going to be something that I try out. And I noticed that from when I was younger. But I think I also started volunteering at a really young age, and it put me out there. It put me in a different situation, and I really enjoyed those opportunities to learn, to network with people, to meet new people, and to be able to help out. So I think that was probably one of the biggest things that stood out for me when I was younger is just always wanting to volunteer, always wanting to do stuff. But that also did it did a lot of good, but it also put the wrong impression in my mind that the stuff that you the stuff that you want to do and the stuff that you should do, you don't always have to volunteer. Like there's a lot of paid services. There's a lot of ways that you can still be an entrepreneur and have a positive impact. And I think that when you volunteer a lot, you sort of get into that nonprofit mentality and you want to do everything for free. But we really have to start changing that for people so that we're working on building a positive economy that's rooted in capitalism, but that has a more positive effect on our community.
Beautiful answer. Totally agree. Makes sense. And yeah, like you said, taking that chance and just taking those goals and those steps, and ultimately your journey has led you to this point. So the fact that obviously, like you said, you know what you want, you know how the world should be as far as society. It's beautiful in itself, and I think that more people should be open-minded, non-judgmental. And one thing I want to ask you that you gave that answer. Thank you so much. Is that at this point in your life, looking back, if you go back in time and talk to that young girl who's just so free spirited about everything, what would you tell her?
Oh, that's a good question because I still try to like tell myself things to like kind of calm down. But like, this was a big week for me. I just turned 30 and it's sort of like you get these like you get all of these emotions and feelings of like getting to a new decade. And I guess what I would tell my younger self is to not listen to anyone else and to not look at anyone else's lane. Simply focus on what you're passionate about, what sets your heart on fire, what you feel like doing in that moment, and then first and foremost, taking care of yourself first. So I think if I learned that when I was much younger, I would be on, well, I mean, I would be exactly where I need to be. Right now, I'm exactly where I need to be. But I feel like that would have maybe given me a little bit more confidence growing up and trying those things and doing those things.
Now, Osama, I don't know if you're still there.
He's got some technical glitches here. Oh,
Yeah, it's okay.
there he goes again.
I guess he's gonna be in and out, so that's no problem. The next thing I wanted to ask you was the first time I saw you again, because usually it's weird. I will see like once every 3 to 4 years. So I think the
Yeah.
first time I reconnected with you was when you're in grade 9 or 10. You went to White Oaks at this point, and I remember I think I was in grade 7 or grade 8. And obviously Facebook was like the big thing and stuff. So I had you on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, Chantelle, how you been? And you're like, hi, how are you? And all that stuff, whatever. And then you told me, you're like, hey, aren't you from Ghana? And I'm like, yeah, why? You're like, I'm actually going to Ghana in the summer to do some
Yeah.
volunteer work. And I was like, what? Really? And you're like, yeah. And that was the first time we reconnected after like 3 to 4 years. I never asked you, how was that experience going to Ghana?
I think that single-handedly changed my life. I think that was the one trip. I always advocate for people to travel, and I know it's a little bit harder now, but traveling has been such an important role in my life. It's been so inspiring, and it's taken me out of my comfort zone and put me into a new situation. Especially, I was in grade 11, and I organized a trip for me and two other girls my age to go to Ghana in the northern Volta region, this small village called Sogakope, where we were supposed to like meet up with some random organization that we just met online. And like this was back in the day. This was way before, this was before anyone was really doing anything online and
Yeah, way
having
before
those
social
social media.
media.
Yeah. So we did that trip and it was so beautiful. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before. The people were so kind. There was like this rawness to everything and it was just so beautiful. I really had I remember coming home and just like looking at all of the things that I had and feeling such guilt. Like and in a really almost in a good way, like it just made me appreciate everything I had, but also realizing that like the way we live life is so messed up because we have like 100 times more things than the people who are in these developing countries, yet we're probably like not even half as happy or half as grateful or connected to our families, connected to our culture. Like it's so distant from what I experience
Mhm.
true joy to be like, for
That's
sure.
great.
It was a really great trip though, to sum it up. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And yeah, I think that's also like one of the things where when we talk about like living with your purpose, that's one of the things that you need to really do to find out your purpose is to put yourself into uncomfortable situations and new situations where you might not have your support system, you might not have your network, you might not have your luxuries that you're used to, and you really just have to depend on yourself and trust your gut And that's where I really feel that you help to hone in on your purpose, is when you're truly listening to your gut and to your instincts. So traveling is a really great indicator, or at least that way to like shove you out of your comfort and put you into a new situation, so that you have to figure out, well, what you're capable of, really. And you have to really
That's
trust yourself.
that's so true.
Yeah, it's definitely an empowering situation to be in those new environments. So I think that that's really important. And you just like find new things that excite you. You find things that you like, new food or new music or
Oh,
new landscapes, and everything that like gets your creativity going as well.
no, it was amazing. I remember I had the exact same feeling when I came home from Ghana as well. And I saw Osama, and we went out to go eat. We went to some like Chinese takeout restaurant in Mississauga. And I don't know if you remember this, Osama. We
I
went,
remember, yeah.
we sat down, we got all this food for just me and him. And like he started eating, and then he looked at me. I just had like a straight face. And he's like, "Aren't you gonna eat? Like, what's going on?" And I just looked at him. I'm like, "I just can't eat the food." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Bro, do you see this food right here?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "This food is enough to feed like 3 to 4 families easily,
Hmm.
easily." And like once you gain that perspective, and just the difference, like you said, like third world countries versus first world countries, and how we take so much things for granted on a daily basis, you become so thankful, so generous to your parents for all the sacrifices
Right,
they've done, and plus all the stories and the trials and tribulations that they went through. It clicks in your
right,
head. It's like, oh my God, it's actually real, and how traumatic those experiences
Hmm.
could be. And that's why us, obviously, as born here, we got to make sure to live up to those expectations, those standards, just to make them know that we're proud of them and that we're so thankful for what they've done over the course of their lives.
for sure. And even like, I mean, Osama, like we're Palestinian, we have that bloodline, we have,
Facts.
that connection. And, when we look back to our homeland, like people there, they don't have access to basic rights. They don't have access to education, to healthcare, to
Yeah, for
safe
real.
shelter. Like imagine like a little kid who's scared because when they hear a bomb siren, it could mean that their home is going to be destroyed in a matter of seconds.
Hmm.
And it's like when you come out of a place like that and you come to Canada and you're just like, whoa, like we are so lucky. Like we are so fortunate. So
Hmm.
it gives you that perspective. It gives you that gratitude. But then also for me too, it gave me that fire to help advocate for people, because I realized that that's not fair for anyone to live through. Like that shouldn't be the situation for anyone. So that yeah, it helped gain that awareness, but also sort of, again, direct your passion, your purpose. I want to ask you guys what you think your purpose looks like. And it doesn't necessarily mean like what individually your own purpose is, but what do you think living with your purpose like feels like, or what should it be?
I'm gonna let
Ooh,
Osama go first because
Okay.
Osama knows the answer.
Well, my purpose, I guess we have the same purpose, dude. But I'm hoping I don't get cut off because I've been getting cut off from this podcast. But my purpose, honestly, is just to change people's lives. Like you kind of both said it, like eloquently. How when you guys went to like Ghana, or like you traveled the world, that you're kind of much more grateful for what you have here, and like all the stuff that you are able to do. Like for example, things that necessarily, like for example, like in Palestine. Chantelle, you just said people don't even have education, right? You don't have to think of education. Like if you have a kid, he's going to school regardless. Like he
mm-hmm.
has to go to school. For me, it's able to change and give people the opportunity. Like one of our podcasts, I believe, was episode 59. We had someone on, and we all agreed that we want to help people. I feel like helping people is one of the best investments ever, because
Mm-hmm.
eventually it's not money, but you're investing to someone who at one point maybe no one believes in it, but once they do something in return, you don't know how that can impact their life. And that's for me is basically my voice is my purpose. I feel like a lot of people they're not disadvantaged, but they feel disadvantaged because of people telling them that they can't do something, and I want to change the narrative around that.
I like that. I'm down
Well,
for that.
answer, brother.
I don't need to keep talking. You got this.
But no, likewise, like Osama said, it's funny because growing up, it's like I had this huge ego, and I just wanted to be like the biggest thing on earth. I just wanted everyone to like love me and adore me. Just want this fame and excitement. But as you go through in life, like God, if willing, will humble you, and then you realize your true purpose in life, right? And I think for me, I've pretty much know this. My purpose in life is just to be a servant. Very simple, like nothing more, nothing less. So really, when I say be a servant, is to give back to others. So I always say this: we give before we take. Always, it's pretty much like a statement that was implemented into me by my parents, and that was given from my ancestors, pretty much, right? So it's always helping others, no matter what, because we have the strength, we have the courage, we're willing to do the due diligence to make sure others live their life with ease, no matter what they go through, whether it's tough and hardship or easy as a beautiful and fruitful life. So when you live your life according to that purpose, everything becomes easy and natural. There's no misunderstandings, there's no bad communication because you know what you get as far as an abundance. Just having a simple conversation, you know, what makes you happy, as far as seeing others happy, whether it's someone that doesn't have any money and being able to spend some time with them and getting them a pizza or just making them laugh can change the world for the better. So just knowing that the small things makes the biggest difference as opposed to focusing on the big picture. Yeah, that's the purpose. So just being a servant, always.
Guys, I'm so proud of you.
I know, right?
I am so proud of the men that you have become, and honestly, like that's just so sweet. I'm really happy that those were
If
your answers.
if you go back to me in grade 5, I probably would have said something so stupid because obviously, like when you're, I probably would have said, "Oh, I just want to be rich."
We probably would have done
Of
like
course.
armpit jokes or something. I don't know.
Like jokes. But you know the beautiful part is those like, look, we grew up in a time pre-social media where you only had MSN and like Facebook was still not even a thing. Like Facebook was just
Yeah.
like all you could do is like post on someone's wall. I don't think even Messenger at that point even existed.
No,
Where you
yeah.
could message people. So we were able to expose ourselves to the world without like social media being like watching us 24/7, right? But and now the hardest thing with this generation is that not only are they living two lives, so now your purpose is kind of a facade. Because I was able to mess up without no one like filming me on camera.
Intentional.
Ironically,
Yeah.
ironically, we're filming this, we're saying this, but like the kids, I don't want to sound old. It's just a fact.
Hmm.
It's just a fact, and I feel like my purpose is I use my experience from the past or like my childish behavior as basically I give back. So, like some guy in Clubhouse, I was talking to him. He's like 6 years younger than me, and I'm like, look, I'm like whatever you're thinking now, I thought the same thing as you, but I want to tell you that your thinking is wrong. But I'm like, look, I understand where you're coming from. However, you're gonna see as you get older, your times are gonna change. Your purpose is gonna change. You say you just want money and girls, believe me, by the time you're 26, that's gonna change.
No, but it's so true. Like your purpose or like your cause or like the service that you do, like that is always going to change. It's always going to evolve. And I think that like it's most important to just acknowledge that like as long as you are expressing yourself, you are experiencing joy and you're also contributing to your community or you're contributing to the betterment of the people around you, then that's your purpose. Like that's what's happening through your evolution of discovering too, like what you want to hone in on. And there's so many different types of how can you call them? I guess like archetypes of your purpose. Like you could be a teacher, you could be a visionary, you could be an artist, you could be a researcher or like an activist. I think my own purpose archetype is as a warrior because I choose to protect people or I choose to advocate for people. But like this changes. Like this can evolve, especially with like the different things that go on through or the things that you experience like when you're in high school, obviously your current experiences and the people you have around you are going to influence what you feel is the correct way to express yourself or to do work around.
You know it's funny that you say that because as a kid, I hated when people used to say to me, "Oh, your friends influence you, or your friends influence you," because I used to think that's
Oh my,
BS.
nope.
But obviously, that's like the ego in me. Like obviously, like oh no, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Obviously, any guy could agree that like they've been told that, and their ego obviously overtook that, and obviously started making mistakes. However, it's so true at an older age. You start realizing that you only want to be with people who value you, and who can uplift you. Don't waste your
Exactly.
don't waste your time with anybody who's gonna belittle you, who's wasting your time. Like for example, even on Clubhouse now, if I hear the same stupid conversation with all due respect to whoever's hearing this, I just don't want to be on. I could do something better in my life.
You have to set those boundaries though. And I think that that's really hard for people because, especially when you're younger, you want to be popular, you want to have all the friends, you want to have all of these things going on. And it's like, well, wait a second. Like, are the people around me inspiring me? Are they challenging me? Are they teaching me something? Am I being accountable for my actions around these people? And is it stimulating? Like, is it mentally challenging, physically challenging? Like,
Hmm.
the people that are around you, literally, I think they say, what is it? Like the five people around you are the people, like, are what you become, essentially.
Yep, rule
So
of
if
five.
you're,
Yeah.
yeah, so if you're around people who have no ambition or who are talking shit, that it's like, you got to find new people, and that's a challenge, I think, for a lot of people, unless you're the type of person to seek out new people.
When I don't think I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned it on this podcast. I think I might have, but I'll say it again. When I was working for Beats by Dr. Dre as a rep at Best Buy, I remember one of my colleagues was like, he was like, at the time I was 21 or 22, and he was only like 28. So we were eating Five Guys, and he was like, "Yo, I have some advice for you." What's so funny?
You just the details, like the
Oh my
food
goodness!
details.
Hold on! No!
Like I bet this guy still remembers the snacks that were offered
Yeah,
when we were getting tutored.
yeah. Oh my god.
Yo,
Yeah,
my,
it's cookies and the juices. It was like orange juice, apple
Stop
juice,
it.
raisins.
those were the
Those are the
good times.
days.
We would really cover the snacks. But
I
yeah,
know
honestly,
you would.
well, honestly, like before I got my story, like Oreos is all I wanted. Like I remember, like you and what's the other guy's name? I forget his name.
Gary,
Gary.
Gary.
Gary, like we were just like making, like, we would say the dumbest stuff. It probably made no sense to you and Gary, and you're like, we just want to teach you so we can so we could tell your tutor that we taught you
And go home.
and go home. And me and Mo were like, at the time, we're like, dude, why are we still in school? Like the faster we learn, the faster we can leave.
Philosophy back then didn't age well.
But
you
honestly,
did well for what it is.
that's very true. Honestly, there was videos of us. We would have went viral.
Oh my goodness.
But to this,
Okay, so tell us about Five Guys. What happened with
yeah.
Five Guys?
Anyways, long story short, he starts telling me, he's like, if we start talking about a deep conversation about friends and friendships, he's like, look, you're gonna get to a point by the time you're 25, 26, where none of your friends now won't be your friends no more. And mind you, I want to say 90% of them I do not speak to no more. Not because they're bad people, just because my values have changed. And that's
Yeah.
why, going back to you saying, like, your circle becomes smaller. So you can count your fingers, your friends on like five hands, on your one hand. Sorry.
Yeah. 100%. And I have like I used to be such a social, and I still am. I still have a lot of friends, but the close ones and the ones that I will really spend my time with are the ones that I feel really inspired by, or the ones that I feel very yeah, I guess almost challenged. Like they're the ones that really hold me accountable. But it doesn't mean you can't be friendly to people. It just means that be mindful and set your boundaries and make sure that you have that time for yourself and that you're spending your time in a meaningful way when you are around people. You got to remember, like, this is literally like we are exchanging energy consistently, and you have to be very mindful of who you exchange your energy with because there's a lot of people out there who maybe they mean well, but they're energy vampires. Like they just can't see other people do well. They can't see other people be happy, or they can't see other people live out their dreams, and they'll try to stop you. Osama, I bet you have an energy vampire in your life because
Or
the
Sylvie.
look you are giving me.
Honestly,
Triple-headed dragon.
look, you captivated by you said one thing. I live by the quote. Don't confuse my personality with my attitude. My personality is who I am. My attitude is how you treat me. I will always be nice to anybody
Oh, I
that gives
like
me
that.
yeah that gives me the like. I'm nice to anybody. Whoever you ask, I'm nice. Until you trigger me, I become a grizzly bear. I will end your life.
Grizzly bear.
I go from teddy bear. It's like Pokemon when you evolve from teddy bear to grizzly bear. That's how I become. Otherwise, I'm a nice dude. Don't piss me off.
I feel you. I feel you. But again, yeah, that comes down to your boundaries. And I don't know. I think I have just like recently been very mindful of the people I have around me,
Yeah.
especially because I realize that I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't want to be
Never.
I don't want to be the person that, is is always talking or is always
Yeah.
doing or is whatever. Like I want other people around me who are doing bigger things than me. So I consistently look for that. Yeah, and it's been pretty interesting. It's been really cool to see who comes this the beautiful part about this is that like I don't know who does it, a universe, source, God, whoever it is, man, but these synchronicities are so crazy. Like the right people will enter your life at a certain time in your life when you need those people or when you need that experience. And so I am so freaking grateful for all of the people and all of the experiences, all of my exes, all of like the, ex-employers or all of the people who have done me wrong or have done me right. Like they came into my life at the exact same time that they needed to for me to learn the lessons that I needed to learn. So I think that like those synchronicities are so important to pay attention to and to be grateful for. And yeah, you can just like welcome those people into your life. They are an experience for you, and then you move on. And if they stick around, they stick around. But for most part, it's like an experience, and then that's it.
I love how you said that because it's totally true. And I think, like you just said, like the energy, like using that energy on yourself in the right sense and the right timing means
Hmm.
everything. Because as we all know, like especially during high school, you have those friends who are amazing. They're so funny, outgoing, outraged, will do anything to get everyone's attention. But as you start to get older, you realize that they're not able to adjust to just maturing and just slowing down. So when they realize that life is not going the way they expected, they think that just being that loud, outrageous kind of person will still get that sense of attraction from everyone else. But once you realize, like, as you get older, once you really want to do, you're gonna slow down, take your time, and just be aware of what's
Hmm.
going on, and really just adjust very smoothly, right? And when those people can't really figure themselves out, and they just try to, I don't know, just unleash that unfiltering energy on you, you have two choices: either continue on with it, and whatever happens to you, you get lost in the loop, or you just step away and do what's best for you. So I just think that time of isolation, time for yourself to reflect, honestly, and reflect, and with those intentions, all those synchronicities, like you just said, those people that you meet at the right time, and you're at some point in your life, it all means something beautiful in the future because those lessons
Hmm.
that you learn, and if you utilize it, it's going to be such a beautiful benefit when the time comes for you on your next step, as far as what's going to manifest itself in the next part of your journey.
For sure.
Well
No,
said.
for sure. And I think I am gonna say it. Like I hate to say that there was a plus side to this whole pandemic or whatever has been going on for the past little while. But this isolation like really knocked me down because I before the lockdown I had quit my job. I retired. I was like I'm done with this job. Like I want to spend more time traveling and gardening and spending time with my family. Like I don't want to work anymore. I need to take some time. So then I was expecting to start working again in April and that never happened. Like we went into lockdown and it was just like okay, like plans are changing. And the one thing that I just like primarily focused on was my health, was my body, was my mind, was my habits, my routine, my just individually, what are you doing to take care of yourself? Because if you want to know what brings you the most joy, you're not going to figure that out if you're unhealthy. If you want to know what makes you feel the best, you're not going to figure that out if you are so distracted with all of the stimulants we have in our society, with all of the toxins we have in our body. You're not going to figure that stuff out. You're not going to gain that connection or that clarity if you are filling your body with toxins and not treating it properly. So, like, the one takeaway and probably like if anyone is feeling stuck or if they are not understanding what their purpose is or what they want to do with their life, like the first and foremost, like the only thing that you can do and the only thing you are responsible for is taking care of your body and your mind first. And I think that people overlook that so much. Like they want that quick fix. They want to take, the new certification course so that they can jump into this new career and they can get all of these different things. And it's like, dude, try try taking care of your body first. Try just like stepping back and just focusing
Yeah.
primarily on your health and see where it takes you. Because I feel like you get a whole different mindset when you are in a different state of health, of course.
No, I definitely agree. I think a lot of people don't consider their mental health as a anymore, right? Like that's why, for example, like a job or a podcast or whatever you were doing, people should take care of their health first. Ensure that you're good. Don't overwork yourself. Like sometimes,
Hmm.
if we, actually, there was one episode that never came out, and me and Muhammad didn't upload it because we were out of it. Like we looked back. First of all, the podcast came out bad, and two, we repeated ourselves like 1,000 times, and we're man enough to say we're like, you know what, we're not uploading this. We were working. Like, at that point, we were like working so hard, so we
Hmm.
just stopped. And even before, like last year, we were uploading 3 times a week. A lot of people don't know that. Like we would record 3 times a week, and then we went to the point like now we're consistent. We can do it 1 time a week
Hmm.
because now we're like on a flow. But in the beginning, it was hard. Like we were overkilling our mental health just to like put up episodes.
Hmm. Yeah, that pressure is too much.
I love how you said like we should focus on our body and mind because obviously it makes a big difference. Now, the question I have for both of you guys is the amount of time that you spend, obviously, whether it could be watching your favorite TV show, going for walks, or anything else. If you were to take that amount of time and spend it on yourself, just on the mind alone, the vision that you have of yourself, the end goal, like the Chantel that you see yourself like 20 years from now, if you were to spend that amount of time on yourself every day, just on the mind and body, do you think you become that person quicker?
Oh yeah, 100%. And you know what's so funny is that literally in this past week, I let go of all of my volunteer commitments for in 15 years. I am not spending my time volunteering and reclaiming that time for myself because I just acknowledged, first off, like you're undervaluing yourself when you're committing to that much free work, but also imagine what I could do if I had all of that time to first off like put into myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I need to like spend too much more time like of the whole self-care thing. Like I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty balanced with that. But more so to invest into my own business, to invest into my own just activities that I want to do. Like that was a huge shift for me and it's only been a week. So I can't wait to see what happens in like, even just a couple of months of reclaiming this time and having that more availability, I guess, to focus on me, which sounded so selfish to me at first when I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop volunteering," and then I was like, "Dude, I gave up like half, not gave up, but I served half of my life for nonprofits. So I think it's time for me to just chill out.
Makes sense.
So I'm gonna do that now."
Yo, Mohammed, repeat your question. The end of what was like? Just actually give me a shorter version because like my internet got cut out again.
This guy.
Dude, I don't know what's wrong. This is the first time.
Yeah, so pretty much my question was the ultimate version that you have of yourself, Osama, if you were to spend the time just focusing on your mind and daily habits, as opposed how much time you spend on whether watching TV and other activities that you
Yeah,
do that you think that goes for waste, do you think you become the ultimate version of yourself quickly?
I think anybody will. Chantel said it best. Like I think you focus on yourself, you'll be the ultimate version of yourself. However, human nature, you're gonna do stuff that are lazy, right? But within balance. So a lot of
Hmm.
the times, for example, we work too hard one day and then like you take the whole week off because like you overworked yourself. But if you work within balance, which now I'm getting better at, where like for example, if I need a break, I'm not gonna go on. If I don't want to go on social media, it's not because I'm mad or upset or sad. I just won't go on because I don't feel like it. Or if I don't want to work, I don't want to edit a photo or a video, I just won't do it because I feel like when you do something when you don't want to do it, it is not about no
Hmm.
discipline thing. This is just like your mood, your mental health. Because then you when you're not in the right state, you're just not gonna feel good doing it, and the product might come out pretty bad. So if but to answer your question automatically, yeah, there has to be a balance between working on yourself and as Chantel said, she's like she gave her to like, stop volunteering because for herself. Which again, like I when I was volunteering with the group that we volunteered with, I had to step aside because I felt as if they were asking too many questions. They're asking too many. Like, they're always relying on me to do certain stuff, and I'm like, you know what? There's other people in the group that could do it. Ask them, and that's why I kind of left.
Hmm. No, it's so important though. And I think you're right, especially with social media. I think that that's the best thing that people can do is to take a break from being, and like I don't have Instagram on my phone anymore. It's as simple as literally just you don't have to delete your account. Just take the app off your phone for a few days, maybe even a week. Just try it. And it's like it makes people feel so uncomfortable. And I think that that's that's the thing. Like if you're feeling stuck, you need to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. And if detaching from social media, maybe from watching TV, or maybe detaching from coffee or alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, like you need to put yourself in that discomfort and just see what happens from it. So I'm a huge advocate for putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. I feel like that's the only place that you're going to grow. And for a lot of people these days, our comfort is in the eyes of other people. It's in the eyes of social media. It's in the presence of being around a
Mhm.
huge network. And it's like, what happens when you step out and you're by yourself for a little bit? Like, how do you feel about yourself? What are you doing? Like, what's going on without those distractions or without those bells and whistles?
I think a lot of people's mental health isn't personally strong. That's why their purpose is a little bit blurry. One and two, I realized with me, I'm speaking about myself. Like I have a good mental health, so I know when I just don't want to do something, I just don't do it because
Mm,
I have the chemical imbalances in my head where I'm like, you know what, I just want to chill. I want to go play basketball. If the whole day I'm doing nothing, as long as I'm happy,
I'm playing
Martin, why are you
basketball,
laughing?
man.
No, look, guys, this guy got slapped by me yesterday. This guy's so trash.
You're now playing
If I
basketball.
could show Chantelle how you shoot, oh no!
are you guys like still at the Bloomfield courts? Where are you guys going?
Yeah, Bloomfield.
Nice.
That's like the best.
Yo,
That's so
yeah, listen, God saved you because I was roasting and I found out I got cut off, bro. I'm
Oh
not sure
my
what the hell's
god.
wrong with my internet, but yo, you're jinxing it. You're trash that ball. Your purpose should be to like be humble yourself, bro.
This guy said God saved you.
It's funny because you're the one getting cut off though, Osama. So maybe
You know what's so funny is my purpose is not to get cut off. Like this guy would get cut off. Me talking trash now, I'm learning my lesson. I'm feeling his
there you
pain.
go. There you go.
Usually it's the other way
But
around. I always get cut
yeah.
off, and he's. This is pretty fun.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
there. This is the. It's I don't know why. I'm not sure if it's because like I'm sitting in my mom's room too, as you guys can see. Purple.
Pink.
It's got a nice wall there.
Yeah, but yeah, Mo, your purpose is that you're trash up ball. I hope people are listening to this so far because don't lie, don't cap yourself.
No, but you know what, Osama, you said it. You made a good point though, because if you don't feel like doing something, like you shouldn't have to and like I think that's another problem with our sort of like capitalistic society that like productivity is the measurement. How busy you are, how stressed you are.
Hmm.
People have this impression that like you need to suffer every day at work or else you're not working hard enough, and it's like I absolutely can't stand that mindset because if you are in a place where you're feeling stuck, then you need to walk away and you need to I'm like another huge advocate for playing. Like you need to get creative. You need to explore. You need to go out and, like get active, do something where you're having fun to just like keep that energy going and sort of give you that refresher. So, yeah, you're doing good. You're doing
I
great, kid.
honestly, yeah, I can't talk for a lot of people. Obviously, I can talk for myself, and obviously, you said it really well. A lot of people just have to understand it's okay to take a break, even when you're working on something. Like, yeah, I know entrepreneurs say you got to work like 50 hours a day. That's different. Everybody's built differently, right? I feel it's okay to take a break within balance. Like for example, don't overdo it if you're and like don't go and show people 24/7 and then obviously like exclude your personal life.
Right.
But within bounds, like have 5 hours of the day for having fun. Like if you break your time into like three thirds, 2/3 of the day you're actually awake, and then 1/3 of the day you're actually sleeping. So if you 16 hours of a day, you could do whatever you want. If you break it down like properly, you will realize how much time you have, and how much time you're not doing nothing. So that's basically it. And Mo, why do you keep laughing?
I, I feel like a kid again. While you're talking, like 16 hours a day productivity, and I'm like, what if you spend 16 hours in the washroom? I just feel like a kid again, just interrupting. It's so funny.
You know what I remember? You know what I remember? I don't know why I remember this memory, but we were in. Do you guys remember what Stoke really well? It was like Miss Ferguson's class.
I remember
I
Ferguson,
remember.
yeah.
I
I
think
remember
I,
the name.
I think I remember it was like the science room. Or that's like the big science room, and I remember It was me, you, Gary, and Mo. And I remember like you guys, like, the whole day we did nothing. All I remember is like we were eating snacks and we were making you laugh the whole time. And looking back, I'm like, yo, I don't know how you were able to uh have so much patience with like 11 years olds who were going crazy the whole time. We were like, we didn't even get past. I remember we didn't even get past the first question. And then our teacher, Miss Osborne, at the time, got so mad. She's like, "Yo, what did you guys learn?" We're like, "We just had Oreos."
You learned how many Oreos you could shove in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, the man
I
who's
know.
the man that is the man you see today.
I am very proud of you. But no, I don't know. I don't know how I had so much patience. But you know what? It is almost like I don't really remember that. I think I may have like blocked those memories from the trauma acquired from having to like
She
deal
she
with all that stress.
she went to high school. She was like, "Those two assholes."
No, oh come on. You guys weren't that
I'm
bad,
playing. I'm playing. I'm
honestly.
playing. I'm
No,
playing.
I think though too, like it's yeah, they're just all funny experiences, man. Like it's almost like it's such a blur. Like it's like you go through so many of these things in your life and you're just like, whoa, that happened, you know, I remember that.
Hmm.
Or like, you know, Mo, you were telling me the other day, when you saw me at that like eco festival or whatever, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I forgot about that. Like, you know, there's like all these different memories and versions of you that other people remember. So it's kind of interesting to hear.
Another story I remember. I remember is like when we both found out we were both Palestinian. I don't know why for the longest time I thought I was the only Palestinian in the school, and I was
Yeah.
happy about it. And I remember like, "You're Palestinian too?" Jeez, I was so hyped.
You know what though? Because when I was younger, I didn't necessarily advertise that I was Palestinian. You know, like I just remember, especially also being really confused by the whole, you know, political situations there, and you know,
Mhm.
having an Israeli passport and not necessarily understanding like what does that mean? Like why is it that I'm going to Israel and not Palestine? Like when you're younger,
Mm.
you don't really understand those things. But now, like in the past few years, that's another way that I've been able to find a little bit more of my purpose in advocating is was when I traveled back there and I was teaching English for a little while. I went back and kind of just explored a lot more in the last summers, and it just kind of fueled my inspiration for the cause and reconnecting me to my culture though too, which has been so beautiful. Like it's been so much fun and so powerful. I think like it's so beautiful.
Ask you is because
Hmm.
obviously we're talking about living with a purpose, but at the same time having a positive impact. And you keep
Hmm.
stressing about having a positive impact, whether it's relationship, life, and as we all
Hmm.
know, like we talked about throughout the whole episode, we live in a society where it's like a constant rat race. Like everyone's focused on the 9 to 5, and it's just that cycle relooping over and over again. And through that, we're never able to go on vacation, so you're just tired and stressed out. Like I always thought how ridiculous it is the fact that most couples who have families go on vacations once like every 5 to 15 years, and in between those breaks, like your parents, they get really stressed out, a lot of different things, and all these circumstances that most people have to face. Now, you said that it is possible to have a positive impact in the workforce and just the culture overall.
Oh yeah.
How would you change it? How would you change the culture and the workforce that we live in currently today, as far as the rat race? It's
I think that in order to save humanity or the collective, it is such a individual journey. Like I think that we need to work on ourselves in order to create that collective impact, to create a positive contribution. And what I mean by that is that we are all going to be, you know, business owners or parents or consumers, or we are all going to participate in the collective economy or the collective community. So how we have a relationship with ourselves is the starting point. If we are aware that absolutely every action that we have can either create a positive impact or a negative impact, we're going to be more mindful with absolutely every dollar we spend, absolutely every word we speak. You know, a lot of people don't understand that ripple effect. And with every single action you take, it could be a smile to a stranger, it could be supporting a particular business, it could be, you know, even just the words that you exchange with your partner. It's one of those things that once you acknowledge your power and the amount of impact that you have, I believe that we can have the choice to make a positive impact. Now, for corporations and you know, I guess like businesses and things like that, they have a bigger role to play, but it's not going to change unless the consumers demand it. And that's where I believe that us as individuals, we have so much power. We vote every single day with the dollars that we spend. And I think that right now, with the fact that information is literally at our fingertips, we need to take it upon ourselves to ensure that we are voting for the world that we want to see. Like, we know that fast fashion exists and there are sweatshops around the world and people are literally dying. The environment's getting polluted from all of the fast fashion out there. Why in the world are we still supporting these brands? You know, is it convenience? Well, we need to check ourselves. We need to tell ourselves, like, wait a second, do we actually need that? Or do we value another person's life more than the latest fashion trend that's going to be so disposable? So I think that, like, it really does come down to, again, like, when you take care of your body and your mind, you're coming back to yourself, you're acknowledging your power, you're standing in your power, and you're acknowledging that every single move you make can be a positive one. I really emphasize that, especially for the people who are in a position where they offer a business or a service. There are so many ways to just look and do an inventory of what your business is actually doing and what you guys could do to make a more positive impact or to give back to your community. Like, we saw it over this pandemic, how many billions of dollars did these already billionaires make? What did they give back? So we really need to start holding people accountable for that. And we need to start looking at how businesses can be a little bit more creative. I'm not saying for them to give all their money away and not make a profit. There are ways to be creative and have corporate social responsibility while still making a profit, while still practicing in a thriving economy, having a social enterprise and having more responsibility, more accountability to the community that you're serving. I think we need to own up on that. Like, we really need to own that a little bit more as a community. Did I answer your initial question, or did I just go off on a whole tangent?
Chantelle, I don't know if Osama agrees. That was the most well-rounded answer on ways.
I was gonna say
that is like the greatest answer on ways. Like, that is ascending youth sound. That is
you took the words out of my mouth. You took the words out of my mouth. Because in my head, I was like thinking, I'm in deep thought of everything she was saying.
That is like the best answer on ways. Like, that's like, we're gonna take that and frame it. Like, every word you just said, we're gonna like frame it on the wall. Like, that's the greatest answer, easily on ways.
But you know what? Like, honestly, like, I can't emphasize it enough. Like, we forget how much power we have, and that's like the one thing I feel like people need to own again. Like, we need to take back our power, and our power is literally our time, our energy, our words. Our time translates to the money that we get back after we spend that energy working for someone. So, like, your power is also your money. It's also your gifts and your creativity. Hone in on your power and stand in it. Like, that's what we need now. We don't need people to sit down and shut up. We need people to stand up and to actually shine their light and not be afraid to shine their light, because, like, it's a freaking dark place out there, man. Like, we need some beacons here. So I'm honored that you said that, though. That's really sweet response.
No,
I was like,
the truth.
I was like, Chantelle, you need to, like, come back to the question. Like, what did they ask? Like, go back to what they were saying.
That was incredible.
Sometimes I get a little lost sometimes.
That is incredible. Beautiful answer. That is easily the best answer on ways. Definitely one-rounded. Top 5 for sure.
I think it's top 3 answer.
Top 3? Yeah, easily. We do a debate of the top 5, top 10, whatever. Definitely in the top 3 for sure. That was just a beautiful answer.
You know what the bottom 3 is of someone on our podcast?
Don't do it.
You know who I'm gonna call out?
A boss?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's it. This guy said the dumbest thing on our podcast, and what he said did not live on to be true.
Did not age well whatsoever. Whatsoever.
Oh no.
So to give context to people who are listening, we had an episode. I think this is episode 16 about Vince
16.
Carter.
Yeah.
How do you remember all of the numbers? Go ahead.
Honestly, I think like when you start recording, you start remembering like podcasts that pop up to you. And I remember
Right.
in that conversation, he was like, "Name your top 5 Raptors players." Right? I named mine. Mo named his. This guy, Pascal Siakam was number 5. This is, mind you, anybody. This is before the season came back.
Before the
And then
playoffs.
before the playoffs, right? And then we see how Siakam like played. He was like his top 5 Raptor. He put him over Chris Bosh, DeMar DeRozan, all these other good players. And then he was like, "Oh, bro, watch, he's gonna kill it this season." This guy made us lose the whole season.
Age well, and yeah, that's the point. Some guys
But-
obviously are very well known
but-
what they say.
All
I'm
jokes.
so happy my answer was better than that.
No, but I just want to say, all jokes aside, I feel like your answer was like well-rounded. It was also really, like, I feel like also maybe our chemistry also can add down to the whole conversation. This whole topic, which is really important to myself, and I guess to both of you as well, which is, I feel people should definitely hear it. We spoke about it before, but it's different because now we have a third voice talking about it, and obviously with the positive impact. Now, I stress. I want to say one thing. When we say be positive, we're not saying that it's not okay to be sad. We're not saying that. It's okay.
Oh God, no.
When you are going through negative stuff, be optimistic that things are going to get better. Because if you have that negative mindset, you're just going to be upset and sad. Which, by the way, changes your purpose, changes the way you look at life. And I remember I saw this beautiful quote where someone who is happy and is already going through great stuff, not like he's already happy. However, someone's sad and is going through the worst time of his life, but is still positive. That's even a better mindset because no matter what he's going through, he still has that positive mindset, which I want to put out there.
100%. That's so true. And I think that there's a lot of this like what is it, toxic positivity or whatever they're calling it. And it's like I'm not sugarcoating and saying that, you know, you should be an oil company that's like, you know, saying, "Oh, well, at least we're doing this and whatever." No, like if you're upset, if you're having stuff that you're going through, if you are experiencing things that hurt you, you have to accept them, you have to acknowledge them, you have to process them. But those also show you the contrast. Those are there to show you what you don't want. And so you're able to focus on what you do want. So if you acknowledge that in that state you're sad and you don't like how that feels, or you're in a job and you don't like how that feels, that's there to show you the contrast. So you're able to say, the job that I do want looks like this and I feel like this in that position. So it really does, you know, you have to use those emotions. You have to feel those emotions for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, the toxic positivity though, like that's been going around a lot lately because people are just like, suck it up, it's gonna get better. It's like, yo, bro, like people are hurting out there too. And you gotta hold space for them.
I'm not gonna lie. I could have stayed quiet this whole time and let you speak, and you would have influenced me this whole time. Like I'm not even lying.
I agree.
I could just put your whole like tape alone and let people hear all the gems that you're dropping.
Oh man.
And disclaimer,
you know?
we love you, bossy. The episode is not trash. It's still a worthy episode to listen to, all right? So
It's an amazing episode, but hey, look.
he just said one thing that just didn't age well. So that's it. For anyone wondering.
Poor guy.
Honestly, I have to roast. I feel like if you love someone, you roast them. But I mean, they can roast me back. He roasts me all the time.
He's a nice guy,
With
really
love.
nice guy. Just
It's done with love.
it's done with love.
Facts. It's the same way when I roast Mo about his like old habits. You know, like how old you are.
I'm
And he's still
young.
positive about it.
I'm
How
young.
old are you?
Guys, be careful with the old jokes, okay? We were talking about how I used to tutor you. I just told you I turned 30, okay? It's a very fragile time.
Congrats.
Hold on. I want to say, I actually thought you were a lot younger. I don't know why I thought you were like 2 years older than me.
Really?
How old am I? I don't want to know. Don't answer that question.
No, but hold on. I'm 26. So people like, I'm 26.
Okay.
Right? But you look young to me.
Thanks. Yeah, you know.
But the reason why I just want to clarify before we end up the podcast. The reason why I say he's old is because this guy did the dirtiest thing to me last year to start. I'm calling you out, bro.
Osama, we gotta learn to let things go.
Grizzly bear.
Alright, for another time.
I did something pretty dirty to Osama, I think like 3 weeks ago when I locked you out the car.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, you did.
In the weather, it was like a
Oh,
snowstorm.
that was another. I think that was another one. Was he thinking of something else?
No, this was like a snowstorm
Yeah.
like 3 weeks ago.
Honestly, I feel like when we more roast each other, it's just about laughter. Like we just laugh. Like I've done things to him that he gets mad at, and I don't. He does things to me that I get mad at him, but I still love him. He's always influenced me. He's always influenced me to be a better person.
Good.
Cool question
Which
though.
is
You said you're 30 now, right? So obviously, a lot of people have the mindset like when you're in your 20s, it's time for you to explore, go through different things. When you're in 30s, time to settle down on everything. Is that true? And also, what are you looking for? I guess as far as your 30s.
Oh, what a great question. You know what? I was a little butthurt before about turning 30. And
Why?
like age was never, I don't know, it was kind of just one of those things like because I guess it's like it's a decade, and it really just like a decade comes to an end, you're starting something new. You sort of look back and you're like, is this where I actually wanted to be when I was like 20 or whatever? Truth is, you're never going to be where you thought you were going to be way back when.
Hmm.
And when you're in your 20s, you're so confused and you're not necessarily embodying your true self, especially in society today. Like, I feel like we're very influenced by so many other things and very influenced by like the planning of things. Like, like when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, like gonna be married with a house and kids when I'm 25. And I'm just like, fuck that. I'm gonna go buy myself a van and drive across the country. Like, I'm in a completely different mindset from when I was younger. And it's really interesting to, just embrace that. Like, I think 30s are going to be, I think they're going to be the best time of my life because I feel more centered in myself, more aware of what I like, what I want to do, and what I want to experience. So I'm looking forward to it. Now I am excited about it. It took me a while, but I am excited now.
That is such a beautiful answer. Osama, do you know how I feel about that answer?
how do you feel about that answer?
Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma. he was Osama. He sold me out. Okay, what happened was
You know what? Whatever.
no. What happened was
Whatever. Guys, I spent my life tutoring. I gave all my patience to you. This is the thanks I get.
Yo,
Whatever.
Osama supposed to do with me
I'm too nice of a guy, bro. This guy made me laugh.
because while you're such a beautiful answer, and then I'm like on the count of three, we're gonna
It
say
is
thank you, Grandma.
Can I say?
it is
Sorry.
grandma wisdom though, I'm not gonna lie. I am an old
Hold
soul.
on.
I'm totally fine with it.
Can I say one thing that you kind of sparked an idea in my head? This
Not
guy.
to be an asshole. Go ahead.
Gosh, if he ever sees us, he's gonna kill us, dude.
Just gotta run.
I'm
That's it.
scared. Yeah, I can't run no more. I have bad news, bro. But I was gonna say one thing.
I'm the old one. Look at you.
I'm not lying. Like when I go to the gym, I feel fine. When I do cardio, I hate cardio. I don't want to run. I don't want to do no cardio. I'm already skinny as it is. Say to add on to your point, if I look back when I was 20, I remember telling myself, "Oh, by 26, I want to have a mansion. I want to have this." I think a lot of the times we set unrealistic goals, which mind you, what it does is,
Mentioned by 26
yeah. But hold on, let me explain. Let me explain. Let me
In
explain. Let me explain. Let me
Oakville
explain.
in
or where?
Oakville or
No,
where?
not an Oakville. Like I actually, my goal was to be by was to be like in the states by 26. However, when you put stuff in your mind, have timelines and their expiry dates. So if they expire and you don't do them, you motivate yourself. So I kind of learned at a really older age that just have the goal set. It doesn't matter where you attain it. Like if you look at people who have like J.K. Rowling's or Mark Cuban, all these other good people. If you look at their story, they didn't become successful, their turn to success until older age, right? So
Exactly.
they were really suffering for 15, 10 years. Even Kevin Hart, remember I was watching one of his stories, and he said for almost 12 years he's been working no big money, but for the only past 6 years is when he was making that good money.
Right.
And
Exactly.
people forget like the years prior to that. So that kind of captivated me, and I
I
wanted to say that.
I think though that's something that happened because I acknowledged that like 10 years had passed from like 20 to now. That was so much time. Like if I am able to accomplish half as much as what I did, when I was younger, I'm sure I'm going to accomplish like double as much, right? Because now I'm even more like whatever set up to do that. But like that's a lot of time. And even like when it comes to like finding your partner or finding whatever else, it's like you're gonna spend your whole life with them. Like, it doesn't matter when that happens. Like just embrace it, enjoy it, whether it's a career, a partner, or a house or whatever else. Like there's so much time. We're surrounded by abundance. So we're no worries over here. Grandma is not worried.
No, it's true. It's true. And the thing is, like, Colonel Sanders didn't become famous until the age of 65, right? So it's possible for anyone.
I don't know if he's one to look up to, though. Maybe we should. Maybe for other reasons, we shouldn't bring him as like an influence.
Honestly, or even like, or Morgan Freeman got his big break at like what, 53, 55?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Really?
So I feel,
Jackson.
yeah, he a lot of these guys didn't get. If you think about it, right? You like, if, for example, Chantelle, if you become like, actually, first of all, let's define success. Success is contingent on your own definition, right?
Right.
Yeah. If you ask your parents, "Are you successful?" They'll probably say, "Yeah," because success has nothing to do with money or like happiness, or it's just basically, to you, whatever I'm doing, I'm passionate about it. This is my purpose. I love what I do, right? Now, if you achieve everything that you want to do, right, about success, doesn't matter how long it take you. But people, what they tend to forget, the far ones, oh, well, Chantal never had it bad, Chantal never had it this. But your close ones know what you had to do to get to this point. People always forget and tend to forget these struggles because they only see the success and the fame and the glory. And I feel there's a big stigma on that. Because a lot of people get mad, oh, why am I struggling now? I'm like, you can't succeed without failure. You have to keep failing to get that success. It's part of life.
For sure. No, I definitely agree with that.
See, I'm a good guy. See,
I don't think she's agreeing, Osama.
No, I do. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. But then I also want to just like put on top of that, it's that like I personally, for me, like my own success, I have measured it in a particular way. Like I do have like this ideal vision. I do have my goals. I do have these certain things, but I do acknowledge that I'm the type of person, like I will continually be adding to that list. Like I don't think that it's ever
which
like
is fair.
I've reached this level of success, I can stop. Like I feel like
No.
I always want to be in that place where I'm like growing and changing.
I don't think I'm saying, which I definitely agree. I think the more your palate opens, like the more you want to achieve, which is obviously fair.
Yeah. You youngin.
It's all a lie. You know what, Osama?
Yo, look, Mo,
You can be
what?
successful whenever you put your mind to something. That's it. When I feel like doing something, I could do it.
Hold on. But are you able to use 100% of your capacity of your brain?
Whenever I feel like it, man. If I want to be the president, all I got to do is just turn on that thought. I'll be the president next year.
It's an inside joke between one of our friends. He
The
keeps saying that.
of who it where.
Not our belief. We're just joking.
Okay.
Like Osama said, one of our best friends, he has this old age belief, and it's so ridiculous and funny. He believes that, hey, I don't need goals. I don't need to like define my success and what I want and stuff. Whenever I want to use my mind and put my thought into something, I could do it just like that. 100%.
You know, to each his own, I guess. I don't want to. I don't know the guy. If I saw the guy and his resume and his capacity and whatever else, then maybe I would have another opinion. But
I'll say one thing.
Uh-oh.
He makes you laugh. He makes it like no. I love it. I'm not saying nothing bad. But he'll make, like certain people don't make an impression on you, good or bad.
Right.
He will make an impression. Like he will make sure like you will remember this kid.
Okay.
That's how he makes an impression on you.
The entertainer.
Pretty much, yeah. That in that sense. But as far as like
He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met.
as far as the results, no, that hasn't worked. As far as the method.
That's okay. But like people find their way though too, and I think that like, if and even if they don't, like that's their way, It's kind of just what happens. You're only in control of what you can do. Your own reaction, your own response, your own actions. So
Bro, it's so trippy. She said the same thing you said in the first social media episode.
great minds think alike.
Or maybe you watched their episode before she came on.
I'm not even lying. He said the same exact thing, just worded differently.
It's the exact same
No,
thing.
I didn't actually. I only watched a couple. I listened to a couple of your episodes. Not gonna lie, but they were the later on ones.
No, but this episode was never like it was on YouTube. This was on like two
Oh,
years
okay,
ago.
okay.
2 years ago of this year actually, but yeah. Great shipping. Great minds think alike. You said that. He said that 2 years ago.
But actually, one question I have for you, probably like one of the final questions, is we're talking about living with the purpose, right? Now, obviously, everyone has their own purpose, what they want to do in life, but along the way to becoming that person who you want to be, as far as your ideal vision, you have to learn how to work with others. You have to learn how to treat others with respect. What is the importance of learning how to work along with others while becoming the person you want to become? Because people mostly point out like, oh, I could be like Trump and just breathe root to everyone and dictate how I want to live and still become that grand version of myself. Is that true, or do you still have to be beautiful and kind to others just to get that reception back, no matter what?
Okay, two things came up when you asked that question. First, you can't do it alone. You know, you're always going to need a community. You're always going to need a support system, a network of people around you. And like I know there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'm just going to go live off in the middle of the woods and not care about anyone." It's like you will not survive. Like you will not have the means for all of the things that you need in order to survive. Second, I'm a very, very firm believer in that you are a reflection of the people that are in your lives. So for that reason, I will always show up with love, with kindness, with my heart forward, because that's how I expect people to come into my life as well. And I don't there are so many people in the world that like you could look up to, and I think it's sweet. I think it's nice. You don't necessarily know them though. So I really like to keep my idols not so much on a pedestal. Like I don't really like to like I'm inspired by a lot of really amazing people. I'm reading like I always read a lot of books, and the one I'm reading right now is like it's super inspiring, and I would love to be that type of person, but it's the certain characteristics that I want to exhibit. I don't want to be that person. I want to have those certain characteristics and then hopefully bring those to my community, to my own network. So I think it's, I think it's, I think there's a lot of interesting people out there. You have to be really, again, mindful of your energy, but then mindful of like who you want in your circle. So taking those traits and reflecting them out and hopefully getting them back in.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. I feel like this is like there's what are those like the beauty pageants or whatever where they ask the contestants all the different questions and the judges have to say like you did great.
That's so funny.
What a beautiful answer. It's great.
You still there,
I'm
Osama?
sorry. I'm in deep thought, bro. Every
Uh-oh.
answer, I'm in deep thought.
But what
We
book?
triggered
Well, what book
something.
are you currently reading right now?
I am reading Wild by Cheryl Strayed. So I have a new goal this year, actually. Can I tell you my new goal?
Of course.
Sure.
I am going to be hiking the Bruce Trail. So it's 900 kilometers from Niagara to Tobermory. It's going to be about 30 days of hiking 30 kilometers per day on average. So I figured for my
900.
30th, 900. So I figured for my 30th year, this was the perfect way to really physically and mentally challenge myself. And the book that I'm reading is about the woman who did the Pacific Crest Trail, which was, I believe, 4,000 kilometers or 3,000
Ooh.
kilometers on the like California coast and throughout America, like on the western coast in America. So I'm reading her book right now about her journey and how she did it by herself, and it's really awesome.
That's amazing.
I,
Yeah,
They're like
so
900 kilometers. They're at 30 days. You said
in
30 days
August,
per. That's
30,
amazing.
30 kilometers per day. Yeah.
You have to document that.
Of course, of course. And I mean, we'll see how quick we go. Like, I mean, it could be a little quicker, it could be a little slower. There could be beach days, there could be whatever days, kind of just going to see how it goes. But that's the intent at least.
right now to get yourself mentally prepared for
Prepared.
that. Besides reading the books.
I've just been really challenging myself with longer distance hikes, increasing my running, increasing my biking, a lot of strength training. I'm going to start, I need to get some new gear, but I'll start hiking with the gear so that I can get used to carrying a significant amount of weight while doing long distance hikes as well. And then I think it is, yeah, I guess it's like they always say that when you go on these types of trips, like it's going to make you fit, like it's going to make you, you're going to condition your body as you go. But I do want to be in at least relatively great shape for when I start. You guys can join along the trail. You can come for a section of it.
I got to go to recital, that night.
all throughout August.
I'm watching Osama play the piano.
Hold on.
Playing some, like, I don't know.
I'll do.
Some Stevie Wonder. Osama.
We won't hear what Osama's going to do. It must be not a good idea.
But actually, that's incredible. Like, that's amazing. Because I know a lot of people talk about doing kind of things like, oh, I'm going to go hiking, I'm going to do this and that and stuff. But to actually do it, it's incredible. Just the thought, like, I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do everything I need to do to be ready for it. It's just, once again, I applaud you for it. And I can't wait to see the process and just that overall ambition, that nature. Like you said, that fire comes from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it came from, like you said, during that time in Ghana, seeing what I went through with the kids, to where you are now, everything leads to this moment. Flavors and that flares, it all aligns with the purpose. So that's pretty.
I want to say one thing. I'm actually down to go hiking in the summertime.
Okay.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, it's not a lie. I went hiking.
Chantelle, this guy couldn't go hiking at 16 Mile Creek.
Okay, hold on. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
When I want to
go, stop the cap. I hate nature. 100% true. But hold on. Let me.
Why are you saying that?
Hold on. Just hold on 1 second. I went hiking with one of my friends. Always goes hiking, so I know I can trust somebody who knows the trails, who knows what he's doing. By all means, I went twice. I went in Albion Falls in Hamilton, and I went in Mount Nemo in like Burlington. The thing he's talking about is one of our friends took us to. And by the way, because of him, I got an infection on my neck. I got a cyst on my neck because of him. Because I went to some area that I got a bad reaction to, and I had to go and do an ultrasound. I'm like, all because of the stupid thing you made me go to.
Now I have to. It's the same guy with mentality.
No. Are you the bubble boy?
It's the same guy. And remember that whole time I was complaining. I was so upset. It was not a hike. It was not a hike. It was not a hike. But I am going to go hiking.
He said it was a hike.
We got to shift that. We're going to get you prepared and empowered to feel comfortable out in nature. We also need you to come to a place of gratitude, because when you say you hate nature, then homie, I want you to stop. I want you to stop breathing, then please, and stop drinking water. Nature is not just outside. Nature is actually everything we need to survive. Don't get me started on Mama Earth.
This guy did not just do me like that, bro. All these nature people with, oh my god, you hate nature. I don't hate nature, but ladies and gentlemen, I just like me, bro. Like, this guy took me up in this area.
I don't like nature, but I like me. What type of mean?
It means that
you are stardust. You are nature, my friend. You're made of the same things that are in the forest.
Look, Chantelle, I'll be honest with you. If you went with us that day, you would have the same exact reaction.
I don't think so, because I literally go around barefoot in the forest, and I love life.
Facts. This is true.
Bro, Mo, you were complaining after. On the way back, this guy was so... Yes, you were. I have the videos where I'll expose you.
I love nature. I'm always in nature.
You know, I just want to say...
Well, it doesn't mean that you can't be uncomfortable in nature. Of course you can be uncomfortable in nature. That's fine.
I went hiking. I have proof. I have proof. I go hiking with people who know what they're talking about. Not with someone who almost got me a bad infection. True fact, by the way.
I still don't understand how that happened. I'm sorry that you experienced that. However, I think that we should have a field trip to the forest to help you regain your connection with Mama Earth.
Look, until you stop doing errands, you can talk.
So whenever Mo has done his errands, we will go for a nature adventure.
I just want to say one thing. You know, every time I ask him to go on a hike, what he says to me, "Oh, bro, I gotta go get some stuff from Superstore." Oh, really? At the moment, I want to go on a hike.
I don't go to Superstore.
Or,
Rewind.
oh, yo, bro, we're playing basketball outside. Oh man, yo, my knee hurts. I'll come and watch though.
I never said my knee hurts. I'm usually playing.
You
I'm like,
guys, this is
but look,
literally the exact same thing I had to deal with when I was tutoring you guys. Was
look,
back
it
and
has to come.
forth. We couldn't get through anything. You just keep chirping one another. So I'm happy that nothing has changed. But boys, nothing has changed.
Look, I think that's what balances our podcast out though. Is like we have fun on this. We're still ourselves. And I think that's why people come to see us because they always expect something different between every episode is a different episode. So yeah, I'll say
Right.
that. I got exposed now. Now people are gonna come to me and say, "Oh, Osama, you hate nature."
Yeah, seriously.
My DM's already blowing up, bro. I can already see these people like texting me.
All my people are gonna come after you. They're gonna be like, "Why the heck were you on this podcast with these nature haters?"
So,
I won't be able to promote this one, guys. It won't be able to go out to my network.
we'll definitely make sure to have like I don't know a special disclaimer before the episode for everyone that's going to
very
be
true.
tuning in.
But no, this
Anyways.
was a really good time. I'm actually really happy that we did this, and I'm so honored that you guys reached out. And I think this was all triggered because I saw you when I was biking Osama. So I told you those synchronicities, man, they all line up and it all works out.
Well, honestly, I'm gonna say this, even though we told you this personally. Chantelle was one of the first guests that me and Mohammed thought of even having on our podcast. Yet
Aw.
at the time, we didn't know when the project was gonna start yet, and things were kind of slowing down. But but when we started first, like we started like going with the flow, seeing how the podcast was, and then like almost a couple years ago when we started talking, we were so happy that basically our dream 3 years ago kind of came to fruition now. So yeah,
I love
want to
it.
say that.
That was like that melted my heart when you told me that. I was just like, guys, I didn't realize that my math skills gave you that much inspiration to have
Honestly,
me on your podcast.
I think it's because I think for you, you kind of allowed us to be kids and like allowed us to fool around. So you kind of like gave us the time to like be childish. I think anybody else would have got fed up with their shit. Like, yo, do the work. But you would play with us. You would give us your time. You were really patient, by the way. I don't know how you were patient. Anybody else would probably slapped us. They're like, yo,
Of course.
like, do your work. So yeah.
No,
But,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you for building my patience. Maybe you guys helped me hone in on me
I know,
doing
right?
that. Yeah.
Take some stake in that. But once again, Chantelle, thank you for coming on today's episode. One of the favorite guests of all time, one of the best episodes, one of the best discussions. And I know for a fact our audience and new listeners are going to enjoy this. Where can they follow you and reach you out? If they have any questions or want to build a conversation or even learn from you on different subjects.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Chantelle_OM_, and on Facebook, I'm Chantelle Okel. I will be launching a new website soon with some new projects coming up as well, so I'll make sure to share the links. Also new to Clubhouse, so that's really fun. Thanks,
Follow her on
Osama, for that.
Welcome.
That's been so much fun lately. So yeah, definitely on there. I think you can find me under the same thing, Chantelle OM or something like that.
We're gonna shout out all your links in the bottom of the description below, and I'll make sure to shout you out on Clubhouse and IG and everything. Chantelle, thank you for coming. This means a lot to me and Mo.
Thank you for having me, guys. This was great. We should do this again.
Of course.
Facts.
Like I said in the beginning, like you're known for so much different things. I just want to like cover one part at a time, right? So
after my hike, I'm coming back.
Of course,
I'll tell you all about what happened in the 30 days in nature.
Perfect. Thank you so much once again. Make sure when you hang up, do not close the browser.
Okay.
It's gonna be uploading.
Okay.
So once it says 100% completed, then you can close the browser as far as the tab itself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
I will see you. I'm gonna hang up now.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too.
Yo, I just want to say one thing.
So funny.
Yo, I saw you. I wanted to do that to you, bro. Like, yo, when I can't
On the count of three,
Yo,
say
honestly,
thank you, Grandma.
yo, I want to say it, but I was laughing, so I couldn't compose myself because I'm ready to. First of all, I just want to tell everybody I want to keep this. Can we keep this? Oh, we are gonna keep this. Yeah. So I just want to see
Yeah.
what Mohammed texted me. And by the way, guys, if you're, this is like because sometimes we text each other to like basically like just for timelines specifics. What was like, you okay? Internet, LOL. Also, I'm gonna get an Android, and then I'm like, go f yourself. And then he's like, yo, when so talking about Chantelle, one of our favorite people of all time. She's like, when she's done talking, let's say on the count of three, thank you, Grandma. Like, in my head, by the way, this is all pre-planned, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'll say it. But me and Mo have a tendency we can make each other laugh just by looking at each other. So I'm looking at this guy smiling, and I'm like dying. And then
Yeah.
he says it. He's like, yo, you sold me out.
The thing is, like, her answer was beautiful. It's about the answer. It's about the question, like, you're 20 versus your 30s, and what you're looking forward to in your 30s. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like when she's done, I'm gonna count with my fingers, and then we're gonna say it. So when I'm counting my fingers, I knew you're laughing, and I'm like, is he gonna say it? But I'm like, either way, let me just go for it, right? Because I know he's gonna join regardless. And when he didn't join, and she looked, I'm like, oh my god.
Yo, she feels like you're the. She's probably like, what an asshole, bro. But honestly, I want to say it's from the bottom of my heart, Chantel. Like, thank you for coming. I don't think you really know how much. Like, you're not even like. I hope you're still listening to this because you mean like so much. You were literally the first guest me I've ever thought of, and like, had we were able to make contact before, we would have. But it happens to be this now, and this is going to be one of my favorite episodes for people to listen. Even though now, to all you nature people, I just want to say out there,
Oh
please
my god.
don't
don't
attack my DMs.
don't attack Osama. He loves nature.
Yo, no, they're not gonna believe this part. They're gonna see what you said. It's like, yeah, this guy hates nature. This guy hates nature. If you want to hear the story about what Mo was talking about, let us know. We'll actually talk about it
Of course.
because we
Yeah.
have because I can't lie. 'Cause we have the footage
Yeah, we have the footage. We have the footage.
and we have Snapchats of me getting cheesed.
But
Yeah,
no, a beautiful episode once again, Chantal.
love it. She killed it.
Amazing, lovely personality, knowledge, wisdom, everything she dropped as far as the jewels. So much to digest. And it's one like her answer. It was the most well-rounded answer on ways. So me being like, I know we're co-hosts, but like you say, always say, like, I take time to give out my answers. I'm always like enjoying myself as like a fan. So while we're supposed to do an interview, I'm just enjoying myself because when you hear these people with their specialized knowledge and what they know, it's so special. You just sit back and relax. It's like as if you're just a member, part of the audience, just taking the notes. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. So when I heard her answer, I'm just mesmerized by everything she said.
You know it's funny is because like you know how you always say every guest that comes on kind of sets up a sets a bar essentially,
Yep.
and for Chantel to do that is amazing because one I was like I'm barely usually in deep thought, to be honest with you, barely. Like sometimes people will say stuff, but I'll catch myself good. But she was saying a lot of stuff that would like it's almost its own paradigm, like where you're like kind of paying attention to something, you're listening, you're trying to say what you're trying to say, but then it's like you want to give back the same answer but stronger. You just want to give no random answer. Like you want to ensure that, which by the way, you killed it by giving her by responding because like obviously my internet kept cutting off. But yeah, when and like, all jokes aside, I was so in the actual moment. It's the first time I think I was actually in the moment. This is
And I think
episode 3.
Yep, and I think that's the best way to end it. Like you said, her answer was its own paradigm, and it's legit on you as the listener, as the student, to digest, realize, analyze, and just try to configure what she said and how you could utilize it to your own world and to your own self, and just reconnect that to the world that we need and the people that need your help and the culture that needs your help and the society that you want to
Yeah.
build and envision for yourself. So, yeah, man, Ways is beautiful, beautiful.
Where's is beautiful? We're World Ascending Youth Sound. That's us.
World Ascending Youth Sound, man.
Come on, bro. Get at us.
Osama,
Anyways,
it's time.
it is time, bro. My back freaking hurts.
I'm tired as well. But to everyone, thank you so much. Make sure to follow us at Waste 2.0 on Instagram. Follow Osama at Kusa300. You can follow myself at Mohammed.global. New episodes every Wednesday. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, and other various platforms as well. Love, support. Thanks to all you guys around the whole world. We don't take it for granted. We're always thankful. And we can't wait to have more beautiful guests like Chantelle just to propel and just elevate the consciousness and the projectivity of this platform even further.
Peace.
Peace.